Aloha and good morning, everyone. Monday stock market session was pretty quiet, mixed volume. It was nice to see the Russell 2000 lead, but once again, that lame close is just something, it's just par for the course. We just really can't get a strong close. But overall, my holdings did very well. Excellent breadth in my holdings. Great breadth overall in the market despite the flat session overall. The NYSE and NASDAQ advanced decline line hit more new highs, and as long as the breadth is good and my holdings are doing well and new long signals work more often than they do not, I'm going to keep on moving with the trend and just invest accordingly, not investing too much into any one long position because the VIX is sub 10 and we just don't ever get 20% correction, so it really doesn't reset the market. That gives me the confidence to put 10% of my capital all the way up to 20% of my capital into any one position. So 5%, 6%, 7% might be the most you're still going to see until we get that 20% pullback. But going over the new long positions, we have no new quality long positions. I flagged DVMT as a start, obviously with BOP declining from the session before, can't get long. I also flagged, it is escaping my mind and I remember it, ALRM. As you can see, the volume's not too big. Decent overall pattern. It's not quite symmetrical to the overall uptrend from the March lows to the June highs and BOP decrease, so not a new long. So there's 0 new quality positions, but I have 1 new speculative long position and 3 add signals. So what I'm going to do for the new long position, it was in both of my BOP scans, so it's going to get 0.5% of my account capital. Like I said, I'm pushing it a little bit more in these spec trades right now with the market at new highs and breadth strong, and a lot of them working now, like ENRJ today, for instance. So and then you can see HTZ, which I got shaken out of, but as you can see, SID also remembered SID. So as you can see, a lot of these little ones are working really well. The new long XGTI worked right out the gate immediately. So we'll see how these do. CLSN, new long position. It made my green bot for 20-day scan and my max green bot for 5-day scan. I'm going to get long at 186, the close and high day, and there's only one cut loss level, 181. So the risk is very low. Because the risk is so close, the stock is going to have to work immediately. If not, I'm shaken out. So the chances of getting shaken out are very high. But if this thing can get back up to its 50-day moving average, this recent high, these recent highs, this recent high, and maybe even the 200-day moving average, think about the potential reward to risk ratio. Definitely there. That's why I also have no problem increasing the size a tad to 0.5%. So put a couple grand in this one. Also, very, very nice chart. It's not perfect. Anytime you see red BOP in the chart, I don't love it. But like I said, just the way that it appears to try to be rounding out here, all the green BOP in it, it's a very good pattern off the lows. Not a good pattern overall, a good pattern off the lows. Also then, when I add to SRAX, sadly, I've been shaken out. I was shaken out here, I believe. It got down to 114. Where was I shaken out then? I don't think I had it at 114. I had it right here. So my final stop was 122. So on this day, when it got down to 114, I was shaken out. Guess I should have used the lows. I didn't. I used 122 as my low. So while I was shaken out at SRAX on an end-of-day basis, it never triggered a final cut loss level. So this is technically an add position according to the way that the website works. For me, it's a brand new long signal because my stops got shaken out. But SRAX, pocket pivot point signal, stronger volume. Nice little green BOP surge after holding green BOP right here in this little sideways consolidation off the lows. I want to get long at 125. First cut loss, 117. Final cut loss, the ultimate lows, 114. Excuse me. I got a frog in my throat there. And then so SRAX 125, 117, ultimate lows, 114 final stop. Then there's RVP. You can see the close-up of RVP. Once again, was in my green BOP for the past 20-day scan and in my max green BOP for the past 5-day scan. You can see that there's really not a whole lot of movement here, but zooming out to a zoom 3, you can see that we continue to have this really long and very symmetrical pattern shape up. If it is about to build higher lows, I'm assuming, based on how strong the internal technical condition looks and following this heavy accumulation, how there was no real distribution on the pullback, higher highs should be in the card. The 200-day moving average should be on the horizon. And then after that, I'm not quite sure where it should go. I have to turn it into a trend following position. There's no real profit target areas because it's just a big giant move down here. But RVP right off the 50-day moving average, a slight volume surge today. Like I said in both the BOP scans, high potential reward, especially if it can try to get up all the way back and take care of all of that damage right here in December compared to the inherent risk ratio. So I want to get long RVP, 118 limit order. First stop, 107 right here. Final stop, all of these ultimate lows right here, 102. Getting back to CLSN. If CLSN loses its green BOP before it hits 181, I'm going to start moving my stops up on CLSN. If SRAX loses its green BOP before hitting its final stop on 114, I'm going to start raising my stops. I forgot to mention all that. And RVP, the same situation. If it loses its max green BOP, I'm going to start raising my stops. There will be no questions asked. And then the final new long position, ABIL, not new long position, add position, ABIL. Want to add to my ABIL position at 108. First cut loss, 102. Final cut loss, 97 right here. Unfortunately, with ABIL, I was knocked out of half of it whenever it moved. So this was when I entered right here. I went long at 114, got filled at 114. My first cut loss, let's go all the way back here, was 105. My final cut loss was 97. I decided to use 105 instead of 107 because it's splitting hairs basically, and we had all that max green BOP. It failed the 105 low on this day right here when it traded down to 102, but it held my final stop. So I still half of my original position in ABIL, so I will be basically more than doubling up on it with this add position, because even though these are add positions, and the way that I operate with high quality long positions is not the way I operate with this. So an add signal in ABIL, because it's already so little and I've already been knocked out, I'm going to treat it basically as like a new long signal, especially with the way that it looks like it's coiling and hooking here with the 50-day moving average right there and all that max green BOP. It even has max green BOP for the past 20 days. So this is especially the case. So ABIL, 1,000 into it, limit 108, first cut loss 102, final 97. RVP add signal, once again, $1,000 into it, 118, 107, 102 stops. SRAX, 1,000 into it, 125, 117, 114, and CLSN, 186 and 181 stop, $2,000 into CLSN. So that's the game plan for this Tuesday morning. I'll see you in the chat room or back here following the session on Tuesday. Aloha.